Hey,
Yeah?
what the hell is this?
Welcome, Custom Car fans! My name is Aurora, and I'm here to present Archetype Spotlight. This ongoing series will see a spotlight shined on some of the hundreds of custom strategies, archetypes, and support that you can find on the server. We'll explore the beloved and the forgotten, the barely viable and the meta-defining, the decks that make EXU, well, EXU. Now, you may be surprised to see me talking about any of these kinds of decks since they are based on modern media, which I famously despise, but this week we'll be taking a look at Fu's Harbringer. Harbringer is a deck that is artistically based on Predator and its subsequent sequels, and in practice reflects that origin. Its primary style of play is OTK, aiming to limp climb into its big bosses in order to reach lethal amounts of damage with its equip spells. The deck also pays homage to its connection between the Predator franchise and the Alien franchise by forcing your opponent to play host to the latter. Many of the Harbringer's best abilities only function when your opponent controls an insect monster, which is something that the deck is more than happy to provide them. Despite being a very competent OTK strategy, the deck hasn't seen any competitive representation. It has, however, got a 66% win rate in recorded casual matches, so that's something, I guess. Hopefully, by showing off the deck's talents, it can get picked up for usage in Battlegrounds and in the ladder. Let's take a look at a list. So this is what I came up with, and, I think it's pretty competent. We'll start off with the Harbringer cards, which brings us to Harbringer Abomination, a level 6 light insect. While it's in your hand, you can pop a Harbringer card to special summon it, and then you can quick effect link summon in the main phase with the option to use an insect your opponent controls. This has particular use as an extender, especially with the equip spells, but doesn't start our combos on its own, hence why we're only playing 2. Harbringer Elite is a level 3 light warrior that can set a Harbringer spell or trap from the graveyard, or from the deck if your opponent has an insect, and it summons itself from the graveyard if a Harbringer is destroyed on the field. This does start our combos, and we never want to have less than 3 of it in a deck. The last Harbringer in the main deck is Harbringer Hybrid Hound, a level 3 light beast that can special summon itself from the hand if you control no monsters, or if your opponent has an insect. And instead of Elite summoning effect, Hybrid Hound allows it to add itself from the graveyard to the hand when a Harbringer is destroyed. This therefore functions as a pseudo-starter. It can summon itself without using the normal summon that's reserved for Elite, and also serves a dual function of being a fantastic extender. As a result, 3 is pretty mandatory. The rest of the monsters we're playing are select hand traps for Small World Later, being 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 Effect Veiler, and 2 Nibiru the Primal Being. Moving on to the spells, we have Harbringer Crusade to start us off, the field spell. It gives all of our Harbringers 500 attack, and can either summon a Harbringer enemy token to either field, which as I'm sure you've guessed is an insect, or can recycle cards from the graveyard. This first choice allows you to turn on the best effects of your Harbringers, and it can also function as another starter by summoning the token to your field. This card has excellent adaptability, which makes it an automatic playset. The most identifiable part of Harbringer, however, is its use of equip spells, of which there are 3 different ones. Chains gives a Harbringer 500 attack and a freeze on cards and effects when it attacks, or a 1000 drop to a non-Harbringer. If it's destroyed, then it takes a card your opponent controls down with it. Not quite as good as Laser Cannons, however, which gives a Harbringer 500 attack and an extra attack, and then also dropping a non-Harbringer by 500 and making it an insect. In addition, when destroyed, it can add a Harbringer monster from the deck to the hand, giving it more versatility than either of the other 2 equip spells combined. The weakest equip spell is Harbringer Sharpened Spear, which gives a 500 boost and piercing to a Harbringer while dropping a non-Harbringer by a familiar 500 and banishes it when it leaves the field. Whoop-de-doo. Its recycling effect is activated on destruction, making it least useful in the majority of scenarios, but can be exceptionally potent and useful when facing down several defense position monsters. Harbringer Reinforcement is a normal spell that summons a Harbringer from hand or graveyard, or from the deck if there's an infestation on your opponent's field, but locks you into Harbingers. This is a vital extender for the deck, crucially allowing you access to 1 extra body. The last Harbringer spell in the deck is Stealth, a quick play spell that can Miscellaneousaurus affect 1 member, or allow it to attack directly. It's a neat defensive option that can help you to survive an opponent's turn, but usually we're going to be ending the duel before then, meaning that this won't usually make much of a difference, hence why we're only on 1. The other spells in this deck are 3 Lightning Storm, as we are aiming to go second and OTK, as well as a seemingly odd pick in Pot of Prosperity. Seeing a Harbringer in this deck is absolutely mandatory, and for some cards like Crusade, they're just vital to see at any point during your turn. As a result, we need to be able to dig as far as possible for them. In most cases, the half damage actually won't matter. The boss of the deck usually ends up attacking 4 times for about 4,000 each time, which easily reaches an extended threshold of 16,000 damage. After this is another 3 copies of any Harbringer in the deck being sent to the trail, an Omni Rotor for Harbringers, but not a Harbringer card itself, quite like Dismal Backwater for Darkwater, for example. Small Worlds is an additional consistency card that we do have the lines to enable. Ash or Nib into Veiler is any Harbringer, and Veiler into Nib is also any Harbringer, and Veiler into Ash is Elite or Hybrid Hound. It's quite useful, seeing as they're all lights and share nothing else in common with either card. Lastly is a copy of Terraforming, as seeing Crusade is very important. For the extra deck, we're playing mostly just Harbringer cards. Harbringer of Legacy is a Link 2 that can discard a card to equip an equip spell from the hand or graveyard to any monster on the field, which is good for recovering spent cards in the graveyard. Far more important is Harbringer of Power, a Link 1 that, on summon, reveals 3 Harbringers from the deck and makes your opponent choose which one to add to the hand. This is intensely important for accessing reinforcements in a vast majority of scenarios, but can also be used to access an Abomination or an extra equip spell. Harbringer of Skills equips itself with a spell from the deck on summon, though it doesn't really do much by itself, and this usually just serves as a way to get the equip spell from the deck into the graveyard for Legacy to then pick back up. The last smaller link is Wonder, which, another Link 1, allows you to shuffle back a Harbringer card from the graveyard to draw a card on summon. Useful for accruing extra advantage and getting lucky into drawing into extenders. The last Harbringer is the big bad boss, Apex Harbringer, a Link 3 that has all of the hallmarks of a brutally strong OTK machine. If it's Link summoned using 3 Harbringers, it can attack twice during the battle phase and gains 300 attack. Also during the main phase, it can equip a spell from the hand, deck, or graveyard to it. Alternatively, if that wasn't enough for you, it can equip 2 if your opponent controls an insect. Since these 2 don't have to have different names, this can always access double laser cannons, meaning that Apex will always be able to attack 4 times, and, under Crusade, will always be a 4300 attack, enough to OTK through Prosperity. The last cards in the extra deck are the Miniature Toolbox, 1 copy each of Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn for back row removal and generic removal, and a copy of Rooftop Inu as a defensive option in pinch cases. The side deck is filled with cards ready for specific matchups. Artifact Lancia for the banished decks, Drollin Lockbird for combo, and Cosmic Cyclone for back row and control decks. Infinite Impermanence is in here as a more modular version of Effect Veiler, being useful on both turns rather than just the one, and better for going first. And the same can be said of Dimensional Barrier, here with the intent of being able to survive an opponent's turn on turn 2, and crack back with an OTK on turn 3 when going first. With all of that said, I hope that I can pilot this deck to success. See you in the games. Yes, so we are currently a week and a half in the future. I don't remember exactly where it left off because I have made the executive decision to not look at my script again. I hope you just had a very fun time listening to me explaining the deck list of Harbringer, because now I'm going to be playing Harbringer. I did play this once in ladder, and I got a victory with it. I did get a victory with it. It was a 2-1 victory against Pure Naturia. But it wasn't Naturia with like some really broken stuff. So I think it was a good representation of how the deck played. However, I was also not very polite in it. I was not happy to be playing against Naturia because that deck is bullshit. So that's why we've gotten a different replay this time. This is a replay that's been specially curated. This is a replay against Nightmare 88, a aficionado of many decks, especially TCG decks that they are incredibly talented at. I'm going to win the die roll. I'm going to choose to go second, and we'll see why this is a bad matchup in a second. So Knight's going to start off by activating Gathering Magic. This is a very interesting tech for the Sky Striker player, for the aspiring Sky Striker player on the EXU server. During your next draw phase, after you activate it, you draw 3 instead of drawing 1. Why is this card very good? Because Sky Striker plays a long grind game, which means that in a game where you are intending to take the duel out into turns 3, 5, 7, gathering magic is an effective way to accrue advantage, which Sky Striker sorely needs to do. Like, there's a reason why multi-roll is so powerful. We're going to let all of this go through because we just don't have any interactions to use on it yet. This Unleash, which is Engage, but it's just a Rota. That's going to get activated, and we're going to search for the Ray, so that we actually have the normal summon Ray in order to activate it, in order to summon, go to the graveyard, and make a Shizuku. We're then going to set one card, and during the end phase attempt to go to Shizuku, but unfortunately we do have an Effect Veiler in the main to stop that from happening. We're going to go draw phase, and that's an Ash Blossom that is a turn too late. It just does nothing on this board state. We're going to try and assemble a line to lethal here. I'm going to look at Harbringer Crusade and Harbringer Abomination in my hand alongside Pot of Prosperity and think, is there a way that I can actually inflict lethal here? And then realize, wait, I have Lightning Storm. So I'm gonna go Lightning Storm and call monsters. This is gonna help me to remove a body from the field, because at the moment I'm thinking I've got to chew through 3 bodies. I've got to chew through Shizuku, I've got to chew through Ray, and I've got to chew through whatever Ray is gonna summon. Well, no, I don't actually have to chew through whatever Ray's going to summon. I'm going to chew through Shizuku, whatever Ray's going to summon, which is either going to be another Shizuku or a Kagari, and the Harbringer token. This Lightning Storm is going to remove one of these, which is a Shizuku. Then Ray's going to trigger off of Shizuku being destroyed, and she's going to summon herself back, and then immediately Knight is going to make the smart play, knowing that obviously now Widow Anchor is turned off, and trigger Ray immediately in order to special summon from the extra deck a copy of Sky Striker Ace Kagari. Kagari's effect is going to trigger here in order to add from the graveyard to the hand the Sky Striker Mobilize Unleash. And we are going to activate Harbringer Crusade and use its effect to special summon a token to our opponent's side of the field, and that turns off Widow Anchor, which means everything we do is now with complete impunity. We're going to trigger Harbringer Abomination here, targeting the Crusade, popping it, and special summoning itself. Then we're going to trigger the, then we're going to link off the Abomination in order to summon the Harbringer of Power. Power's effect is going to trigger here, and we're going to reveal from the deck 3 copies of Harbringer Elite. One of these is going to get added to our hand, and the rest of them are going to get shuffled back into the deck. It's hardly a choice, is it, really? We're going to normal summon the Elite, then we're going to trigger the effect of the Elite in order to set from the deck the Reinforcements, then we're going to trigger Reinforcements in order to special summon from the deck the Harbringer Hybrid Hound. Just getting names into rotation, people, just getting names into rotation. We're going to link off the Hybrid Hound and summon the Harbringer of Wonder, use the Wonder effect to shuffle back from the graveyard into the deck the Crusade, and then draw an extra card. That's Center the Trail. That's a really, really good one. Sometimes the Omni Rota is just what you need to draw. We're going to get Apex Harbringer here, and we're going to use its effect to activate 2 equip spells from the deck, since our opponent does control the Harbringer token, which is in fact an insect monster. Now, off the draw with Harbringer of Wonder, we were looking for another equip spell so that we'd be easily able to OTK here. And Center the Trail does in fact get us into a Rota. So we're going to add Harbringer Chains here, and we're going to activate Harbringer Chains, equipping it to the Apex Harbringer, attacking into the token, inflicting a clean 4,300, and then go for the Apex Harbringer into the Sky Striker Ace Kagari. And unfortunately, this Widow Anchor will not be able to trigger here, because we've already declared the attack, Knight left it too late, and Chains does lock out attacks. Or does lock out effects after a Harbringer attacks. It wouldn't have made much of a difference anyway. We'd still get another attack after that, courtesy from the 2 laser cannons that we have, so we would still be able to cleanly OTK. So we're going to go to game 2. We're going to side pretty heftily for this. I think I sided out all my Small World stuff for Cosmic Cyclones. I sided in Drollen Lockbird. I sided in Infinite Impermanence over the Effect Veilers. And Knight is going to see that I'm playing an OTK deck, and is going to make me go first. This is a little bit embarrassing from me at the beginning, because I'm going to make a severe misplay. So we're going to start off by activating Hybrid Hound, and link it off for a Harbringer of Power. Use the effect of the Harbringer of Power, revealing from the deck 3 copies of Elite, and we're going to add one of those to our hand, and the rest get shuffled back into the deck. We're going to normal summon Elite, and then we're going to set from the deck... there's no excuse for this one. I forgot. You know, accepted game state. It's an accepted game state. Knight didn't catch it, and I never actually activate this. I never actually activate this reinforcement, so it really doesn't matter. We're going to link off into a Wonder here, and then Wonder is going to trigger on summon, which I'm going to initially forget. Shuffling back the Elite into the Hybrid Hound into the deck, since we do have the other one in the hand. We're going to draw a card, but Knight's going to remind us that no, we do not control an insect. So that's going to go straight back into the deck. We're going to then link off the power, summon a Harbringer of Skills, use its effect to equip from the deck a laser cannons, and then we're going to set the Cosmic Cyclone and pass the turn. So basically, this is Cosmic Cyclone Pass. Knight's going to draw, it's going to be Dark Ruler no more, like that does anything against our deck. But they have opened 2 copies of Lightning Storm, so that's an effective card. Unfortunately, it will be able to trigger our Laser Cannons. These equipped spells have floating effects. We're going to search for a Harbringer Abomination for follow-up on the next turn. Knight's just going to run through now the basic Sky Striker line of play. First of all, activate Gathering Magic. Every Striker player opens this, always. Then they're going to normal summon Ray. Every Striker player opens this. Ray is going to then get linked off for a Hyate, and Hyate is going to swing in for 1500. And then the Hyate is going to send from the graveyard upon inflicting damage a copy of Sky Striker Mecha Modules Multi-Roll. That's all of the correct prefixes to multi-roll, right? Yep, Mecha Modules Multi-Roll. It's so hard to remember these sometimes. Like, there's maneuvers, there's modules, there's mecha module. Oh, I can't get my head around it. Then we're going to go in main 2, link off the Hyate for the Kagari, and then we're going to go Kagari effect, add back that multi-roll. We're then going to link off the Kagari, activate some of the Shizuku, activate the multi-roll, set the jamming waves, and then during the end phase, we're going to trigger the effect of the Shizuku, grab from the deck to the hand a copy of Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor, activate the Widow Anchor, negating the effects of Harbringer of Wonder for the funsies, and then we're going to activate the effect of the multi-roll, setting the Widow Anchor for our turn, so that Knight does actually have a piece of removal. As otherwise, they wouldn't have. We're going to draw, and it's... Sometimes you're just skilled. Oh my god, that just turns off all of Knight's interaction. In literally just the best top deck in the entire game. We're going to activate Harbringer Crusade, summon a token in attack position to Knight's field, and just turn off the entire deck. We're now just going to play around, just for the... We're doing this for content, the big flashy combo. It's time to do the Team Samurai X1 Best Harbringer Combo 2021, bro! We're going to like summon Harbringer of Fire, bro! We're going to reveal from the deck, 2 reinforcements, since one of them is in our graveyard, and a sharpened spear. We're going to randomly choose the reinforcements, and then comically realize afterwards that Harbringer of Power isn't random. And Knight is in fact going to choose to allow us to add the sharpened spear. It doesn't matter, since we're going to be setting the other one with the Elite we're about to summon back from the graveyard. Abomination's effect is going to activate in the hand, targeting the Wonder, popping it, and special summoning itself from the hand. Then we're going to trigger the effect in the graveyard of the Harbringer Elite, special summoning it back from the graveyard in defense position, and trigger its effect, set from the deck the Harbringer Reinforcements. This is complete BM. We don't need to set reinforcements here. It's just funnier. We're going to link off Elite, which should be banished, but it doesn't matter. We are going to summon the Apex Harbringer here and use the effect of the Apex Harbringer. Since our opponent does control an insect monster, we can be equipping 2 Harbringer equip spells from the deck or graveyard, which is why we're going to be equipping this laser cannons from the graveyard and the other one from the deck. We're then going to activate the very amusing Harbringer Hybrid Hound here. We are just playing into Nib for the content. Luckily, Knight doesn't have it. Otherwise, it would have been really embarrassing. We're going to go Reinforcements and special summon back the Abomination from the graveyard. We're going to and then we're going to link off the Hybrid Hound and summon the Harbringer of Skills. Then we're going to use Skills effect to summon our 4th and final equip spell from the deck, the Harbringer Chains. Then we're going to link off the Skills and the Abomination for a Legacy. We never summon Legacy. Use Legacy's effect, discarding Lightning Storm, and equipping from the graveyard to the Apex Harbringer, Harbringer Chains, equipping Harbringer Sharpened Spear to the Apex, Harbringer best deck, bro, let's go! 5,300 for attacking Harbringer. This is why we play Prosperity! Harbringer superiority, bro! Oh my goodness. I know that was a match we were favoured to win from the beginning, a la Crusade, but oh my goodness is Harbringer a fun deck. The Apex Harbringer is a monstrous attacker, provided that your opponent has nothing to slow you down over the course of a turn, and facilitates OTKs incredibly easily. I would suggest looking out for link strategies, as they'll often put you first game 2 and Dimensional Barrier won't do a thing. So Solemn Judgment may be a consideration when you're expecting to go first. That'll be it for today's Archetype Spotlight. Please be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, tell us what you thought down in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more content. Remember to turn on the notification bell as well so you won't miss a single upload. There's a link in the description to join our Discord server, where you too can explore the vast array of cards we have to offer, play competitively or casually, and chat with other custom card creators around the world. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.